Welcome everybody to the Archetypical Mind study group. Today is session 17 and we're doing the great way of the body.
Love before me, love behind me, love at my left, love at my right, love above me, love below me, love in me, love in my surroundings, love to all, love to the universe. Peace before me, peace behind me, peace at my left, peace at my right, peace above me, peace below me, peace in me, peace in my surroundings, peace to all, peace to the universe. Light before me, light behind me, light at my left, light at my right, light above me, light below me, light in me, light in my surroundings, light to all, light to the universe.
We thank the One Infinite Creator for this opportunity to serve, to know ourselves, to accept ourselves, and to become the Creator. Let our hearts be filled with gratitude to those of Ra for bringing us the archetypes as a tool for this inner work, and those of Quo for extending our knowledge of these tools. We extend our gratitude to the channeling team at LL Research for bringing us this knowledge. We invite Quo to join us in this working. We also invite our guides, our higher selves, and the ascended masters to grace us with your presence and to show us what we need to know. May all beings find what they truly seek. Amen.
Amen. We're going to start by a guided contemplation on the card. We have the card on the left is the official LL Research card. And then we have the CC Zane card, which is kind of the version before LL Research created their own. Then we have the Rider Waite card. And the one on the right is the Brotherhood of Light in color. So whatever card you choose, let's take a look at the card. We're looking at the main image, noticing what it's wearing, noticing what it's holding in its hands, the stance that it stands on. Does it have something on its head? What does it say to us? What do we feel about the wings and the position they're in? We're also looking at a halo around the head of the image. There is either a sun or looks like fiery things that are floating around it. What does that convey to us? And then just kind of take a step back and look at the entire image and see if it invokes something in us. Now let us get back into our bodies, and we're going to read you some quotes about the great way of the body. Elaine, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Ra, the great way of the body must be seen, as are all the archetypes of the body, to be a mirror image of the thrust of the activity of the mind. The body is the creature of the mind and is the instrument of manifestation for the fruits of mind and spirit. Therefore, you may see the body as providing the athanor through which the alchemist manifests gold.
And the athanor, I guess, is a really, really hot stove. This one is about the wings. Ra. The winged visions or images in this system are to be noted not so much for their distinct kind as for the position of the wings. All birds are indeed intended to suggest flight and messages and movement, and in some cases, protection. The folded wing in this image is intended to suggest that just as the matrix figure, the magician, cannot act without reaching its winged spirit, so neither can the spirit fly, lest it be released into conscious manifestation and fructified thereby.
I am Ra. As one observes the veil of the image of the great way of mind, it may be helpful to ideate using the framework of environment. The great way of mind, body, or spirit is intended to limn the milieu within which the work of mind, body, or spirit shall be placed.
Again, not that it has achieved some seal or label from without that says that it is sacred, but rather than that, the self realizes who and what it is through the ally and athanor of the body. The mind, in combination with the body, then sees obscuring the creator from its presence in this moment, interpenetrating every aspect of bone and sinew, cell, vessel, and strand of hair, and molecule of this body. It ceases being a stranger estranged from the self and becomes part indivisibly of a unified whole and exudes then self-radiating light.
Ra likened it to the athanor within which the soul experiences the fires, the forging fires of third density, that forge not only the shape of the identity, but serves to transmute that which is dense into that which is fine. The body will undergo upgrades, shall we say, becoming a closer ally upon the journey, giving more ability for the entity to express its beingness, to become a vehicle of giving and receiving love, and further granting opportunities and abilities for the entity to polarize its consciousness.
For indeed, you're experiencing a life in the fire of experience, in the foundry, as the three have called it so well. And we would use another name as well, the athanor, the oven in which the alchemist places a base metal and ennobles it by knowledge of those higher truths which come from higher to lower, from above to below, faithfully to limn the nature of archetype within the fire of the crucible of living at third density incarnation upon your present time lateral of third density as you are experiencing it.
We find that the central image in each, which suggests the path that is taken, is that path called the path to the Holy Grail. First, let us gaze at this great prize. It is a hollow, empty vessel. It waits to be filled with that which is holy. Know you not then that that which you seek is within you, that your cup is too full of yourself? You must spill yourself out in your pilgrim walk. You must drop bag after bag and garment after garment, bias after bias, and prejudice after prejudice, until at last you stand vulnerable without the ability to defend the self, yet having no fear, for you have become empty and you wait for the grail of an earthly self to be filled with the immediate presence of the love of the one infinite creator.
It is difficult to speak to entities who do not see through the veil of a seemingly objective journey that is also seemingly subjective. In just the way that the creation shows itself through the telescope, but shows itself also within you, so is there the symbol of a glass waiting to be filled with love and light outside the self, which may be translated into the cup of the self, deliberately and sacrificially emptied day by day by day, until you have the capacity to be hollow, to be humble, and to accept the glory of love divine and imperishable. The cup of your body shall cease to be. Yet, if you have fashioned it lovingly enough in your thoughts, this cup shall be your metaphysical statement, the centerpiece of a tapestry woven in purity and love and desperation and desire, the tapestry of the life of a pilgrim.
We have said this before and shall say it again. We ask you above all things to be merry in your journey. It is not pleasing to the self or to one's companions to become so involved, so agonized about the spiritual side of the self that it simply cannot think beyond itself. Many spiritual seekers are solipsistic and therefore not able to polarize towards the positive. For to polarize positively is to see in each face the face of love. It is not looking and searching within the self in the mirror, contemplating the navel, meditating, organizing the life, starting grand projects of spirituality. All these things are good in their place, but realize first of all that when you have become clear enough to open the heart to unconditional love, it is time to empty the vessel of yourself of all that is clay and dust, and become that hollow self through which the light and the love of the one Creator may flow.
My sister, within your body, you carry the precious gift of consciousness. You hoped by placing this enormous and magical consciousness into the cup of your body to carry into an environment which is rich in the sense of time and place, your entire consciousness held within a tiny cup, which is your body.
You gave yourself gifts of personality, and as well, you gave yourself gifts of limitation and even confusion. Before incarnation, it was your judgment that the love, the wisdom, and the power or will within you may not be completely in balance, according to the highest and best vision that your infinite and eternal spirit would judge. And so you sat down with your higher self, or as this instrument sometimes calls it, your guidance system, before incarnation and planned carefully the shape and the general themes of an incarnation within this system of illusions that you call reality or life.
To the worldly part of your thinking, these emotions seem unfortunate and distasteful. To the seeker within you, however, we would say that such emotions are gifts. They are gifts of a certain type. They are gifts that show you where your pain lies. More than that, they show you what the pain is hiding. So you take those surface emotions and sit with them and allow them to ripen in your meditation time, continuing to regard those feelings with respect and with gratitude.
You do well to let them mature, for even the harshest surface emotion as it is refined by the ripening process, shall begin to deepen your nature and hollow you out so that you may carry more love, just as a chalice carries wine. Suffering of all kinds hollows out the earthly personality if you let it. It does not have to embitter you or make you cynical.
If you respect your own emotions and regard them with affection and a lack of judgment, and if you persist in allowing yourself to feel those emotions and to let them move ever deeper, you shall find that the gift begins to bear fruit as you feel yourself becoming more spacious within, more responsive to the deeper emotions. You will find that you are an alchemist, turning disharmony into harmony, fear into love, darkness into light. It is a natural process, and it begins with the disharmony, with the darkness. Such are the ways of spirit.
And that is why we say that things are perfect at all times, although they may be uncomfortable. Do not cringe away from your suffering, but rather cradle yourself as you endure through the natural process of the alchemy of the transforming energy of the love in your open heart.
The way to climb the steps of light to a fullness that is fourth density is actually not to take on learning, but to release learning, to release those strictures of contraction which you have placed upon consciousness in order to defend the self. When entities pull themselves away from the fully open heart, it is usually not from a motive of anger, bitterness, or offense, but rather it is a move to defend the vulnerable self within. Little by little, then, the path towards graduation into fourth density involves discovering, balancing, and releasing those things from which one pulls back and contracts the self in order to survive.
You see, each is as the note, tone, or complex of tones which makes up an harmonic. Each is a perfect yet unique jewel, a gem with facets that have been cleaned and polished and shaped by the tempering of those furnaces which consume distortion. These furnaces burn brightest during the times of initiation into lessons, when all seems dark and there is challenge and struggle within. In these times, we say to you, rejoice, for you have joined forces with your destiny. You have come to a time of transformation. Take courage and know that sorrow, sadness, suffering, and grief, anger, rage, disappointment, and all the negative emotions that are felt are gifts which hold in their hands hours of despair, days, months, even years of isolation and pain and tempering.
The oven of the alchemist is one designed to refine gold, to cleanse it, to cleanse from it those things which are not gold. You may see the alchemical process working with consciousness as that refining fire in which dross is burned away, leaving that precious original thought, pure, shining, and untouched. You carry within you the sea of consciousness, and that there is all that there is within you. All that you seek lies waiting to be rediscovered.
Each hopes to serve, and we assure you that this is both simple and nearly impossible. It is simple in that simply by being who you are expressing love, for that is all that can be expressed. The question is always, how shall I give love? And we say to you that if you attempt to give love of yourself with your own energies, you shall quickly run out of love, for it is in short supply within your illusion. However, it is not necessary for any to give love from the self. It is only necessary that the one who seeks to serve move the self out of the way of that love, which comes in infinite supply from the one Creator.
That love can be poured through the instrument that is open and empty, and the world shall feel that light and shall not know whence it comes. Yet the one who is able to be a witness of light, the one who is able, if you will, to be a channel of love, that effort and that desire to serve has reached its greatest apex. If one wishes then to accelerate the speed or rate at which one evolves spiritually, then one simply attempts to spend time and attention on love in daily meditation, listening to the silence within. One enters the inner sanctum of one's own heart, and one feeds there on that life-giving water that ends thirst. And as one becomes able to, one attempts more and more to see each moment as a moment in the silence, to see that all is perfect beneath that surface noise and confusion that characterize mortal humankind.
Therefore, we suggest neither that one rely completely upon the intellect and the use of the logical mind, nor that one rely only upon the energies and essences of faith and direct apprehension or gnosis. Rather, we suggest that you become aware of the situation in which you have placed yourself as a stranger in a strange land, and as a native of that land within the body of bone and muscle, that chemical distillery that carries you so well through your physical incarnation.
You seem very limited to yourself. You must breathe to live. You must eat and drink the food and the liquid of your nourishment. You must care for a chemical distillery which eliminates that which is used up in a way which seems less than spiritual. In a million small ways, physicality pulls at you to remind you of one limitation or another within which you dwell in order to become yourself.
Contrariwise, there lies within this web of limitation, pain, and suffering the inimitable sorcerer's stone of now, a now which echoes from the little life to the soul stream to the one infinite creator. Without your physicality, without your location in space-time, without the tremendous sacrifices that you make as a soul stream in order to project yourself into a physical illusion that is space-bound and time-bound, you should not have the capacity to contain the potentiated space in which all of the boundaries between the logos of absolute and unconditional love and the soul stream unbound by space, yet bound firmly within its own metaphysical limitations, might channel down into this space that you can hold open only within incarnation.
It is as though within the tiny boundaries of a little life and a seemingly quiet, limited personality and character, you hold the Creator's highest hope for knowing itself, not only now in terms of space-time, but now in terms of time-space, and now in terms of the entire creation. The power of your position is astounding in many ways. It is as well that an entity awakening from the dream of Earth to a knowledge of its larger self has no idea of the power that it carries. For you, in a way, are like puppies, and you must grow into your feet and your ears and your tail. As you grow from a spiritually immature thinker to a seeker that is increasingly awake and alert and attentive, your puppy feet begin to take hold. You begin to grow into yourself, shall we say.
We had begun to discuss the Green Ray Energy Center and its special challenges as the, shall we say, dissertative part of the previous gathering ended. And so there we shall pick up the subject, noting that with the heart energy comes, in one sense, a fruition, a place of rest and repose where one can gain an overview of the nature of being, the nature of being in an incarnative body, and the nature of that great road which the heart walks.
It is the sifting and winnowing of the feelings and thoughts within the heart. Each entity has within the heart center all the expressions of love, from the most refined to the most inchoate, unorganized, and distorted. All feelings of the heart are true at some level, but the upper levels, the surface emotions of the heart, can be as the red herring in a mystery story, clues that lead in the wrong direction.
If each can see itself as a kind of distillery and can see emotions as the raw products which go into the creation of the wine, there might be a good analogy of what it is to explore, refine, and purify emotion. For the grape, with its skin, its fungus, and its stems, the sugar with its impurities, the water with its impurities, these together are wine. However, they do not yet manifest as wine, but rather as a collection of ingredients, mishmashed together, not yet finished. These are the emotions that the heart receives to begin with when the new catalyst comes. Seldom is the entity receiving catalyst able to listen, see, touch, or feel clearly. Usually there is some degree of confusion in the response.
Therefore, it is not well simply to advise the seeker to follow the heart and no more than that be said. For truly, one needs to follow the heart, but first, one needs to allow each experience to be refined and be purified by that distillery that is carried within that heart by each. It seems that each is a prisoner of time, and yet, in the sense that we are using this analogy, it is only in the freedom of the illusion of time and space that this first purification of self-aware emotion can be accomplished. These raw feelings that the heart senses instantaneously may be already pure, but it is well to ask the self to refrain from impulse and to honor all feelings by moving back to it when one can contemplate it. And in that centered and balanced mode, allow the deeper truths of what has been felt to move through that refining fire which distills pure emotion from the dross of ingredients that are no longer needed.
In other words, the heart puts out a lot of garbage which needs to be placed where it can be removed. Let us say that you have within your heart a curb. Place the can at the curb, and when you feel you have found the dross of some feeling, that which was not fundamentally clear, the wanderer can visualize the action of physically placing those stems and skins of raw emotion into the trash to be removed by time, while the precious and pure emotion is filtered into the deep heart that contains purity, compassion, and its own wisdom. Discrimination is such a valuable activity. Each has it. We encourage each in its frequent use.
If one can take that imagery of the distillery, we can say that often the darkest of grapes and the mustiest of fungi and growth and stems, when given time and allowed to sweeten, can offer the most profound blessings. Thus, we encourage each in all emotional weathers to find the faith and the will to offer praise and thanksgiving for the time and space in which to be conscious, aware, and making that great fundamental choice, the darkness or the light. So
Amazing.
those were really beautiful. There's so much to unpack here, but let's do the meditation first that Andy and I recorded this weekend.
Take a deep breath in, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And relax. Relaxing your toes, your feet, ankles, moving up your shins and calves, relaxing your knees, your thighs, your hips, relaxing your torso from the bottom up towards your chest, up to your shoulders, down your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, relaxing your neck, your jaw, back of your head, your cheeks and ears, nose, eyelids, eyes, eyebrows, relaxing your forehead and your crown. And opening up your chakras from the top, allowing the light in from your violet ray energy center, opening up your indigo ray energy center, your blue ray energy center, your green ray energy center, your yellow ray energy center, your orange ray energy center, and your red ray energy center. And bring your awareness to your heart, becoming aware of the particle of intelligent infinity residing there and permeating every part of your body and radiating from the heart. You find yourself moving through a dense wooded area or a forest. Are you walking or floating through it? Beautiful, dense woods, dancing amongst the trees, moving around and through the trees and branches, enjoying this journey not headed anywhere in particular, just moving where the wind takes you. You find yourself coming to rest in a little clearing or a glade. And in the middle, there's some kind of platform or an altar. And there's a force that drives you to the middle of it. And you rest there. And as you step onto it, you feel an energy moving right through your body, which transforms into some sort of water-bearing vessel. Is it a cauldron or a bird bath or bathtub? Your body transforms into a vessel holding water. And your spirit transforms into the water inside this vessel. And you see the water changing and transforming within this vessel or chalice or object that's holding the liquid. You see the liquid shimmering in the sunlight, different colors emerging from it. Sometimes it's nectar, sometimes it's wine, sometimes there's things that are unwanted in there. Leaves float down into it, and as soon as it touches the vessel, it gets transformed as well. And you sit there as the vessel, the liquid as your spirit, just observing how everything that's going into this vessel is being transformed and alchemized within this vessel. You become aware of a presence watching over this alchemical process, protecting this alchemical process. And just observe what's happening, what's going in the water, in the vessel, what's happening, what are your beliefs and feelings about it all, knowing that this presence will not let anything happen to harm this process. Gradually, you feel the vessel and the liquid inside transform back into your physical body, and the liquid permeating through the physical body, so it becomes one again, one that is you. The presence gradually fades, but it's still lingering and will be with you for the rest of this journey. It has always been with you.